What's up, everybody?
What's crack-a-lackin'? Happy 421.
Where it snowed. Yeah, I like it.
Snowed the day after people got high as hell. That's crazy.
Nature's crying. You know.
For real. It's true. All that smoke went into the ozone and just changed the weather on people the next day.
Little song cry.
Yo, that is hilarious to think that is if for 1 second that could potentially be the reason. Speaking of 420, you guys saw Steve Urkel, Jaleel White dropped PurpleUrkel.
PurpleUrkel, baby. And I said this in my other group chat with my other friends, not you guys.
Skinny's like, I like this.
You must be making some damn good money to go back to a gimmick you got typecast in for years.
Yo,
yeah,
straight up.
Facts. That is such a valid point because he spent most of his career stuck in that archetype. Like he couldn't get out of being known as Steve Urkel. He didn't do things like he did the voice for Sonic, which is huge, and congrats to him.
Right.
A lot of stuff he didn't do for years and years and years. The most recent sitcom I saw him on, all the other sitcoms he's been on got canceled.
Yeah.
Recent one I saw was he was Bobby Moynihan's best friend on Me, Myself, and I with John Larroquette. And that one was an interesting show with the kid from Shazam, the brother from Shazam, the young one, playing the young version, Bobby Moynihan playing the modern day one now, and then John Larroquette playing in the future. And that show was interesting, but it didn't really carry over. And Jaleel White played the best friend, and he was great as a best friend. It was funny. They were talking about, they were like trying to run business. He had a kid. It was an interesting show, but that was the last thing I saw him on. And I don't know how people have been feeling about him since, but
yeah, I mean, he's done like random little appearances on shows and like NCIS, random
NCIS.
Yeah, but like an episode, you know what I mean? Like, but yeah, when you see his face, you see Urkel. He could have really parlayed into like, I mean, maybe he could have, or okay, what I'm saying is for Alfonso Ribeiro, we look at him, we see Carlton, but he took that and parlayed it into hosting gigs and just played into it. Right. Was his gimmick? Actually, his wasn't a gimmick, right? Was his character less impactful than Steve Urkel, or like what is it, right?
I would say, ooh.
I feel like Jaleel wanted to take himself seriously as an actor, and that's why he fought it. Yes. Whereas Alfonso already knew he was a great actor because he started in theater and stuff, and then just decided, hey, if this is how I'm going to make money now, I might as well play along with this.
Well, Toby, thank you for asking and answering because because that's it. No, that's the facts. At the end of the day, like Alonzo. You could tell that he's the type of he did. What was he on? Silver Spoons or whatever that other first show that he was on when he was
something like that.
So he'd already done a show, and he told he gave Will all this advice when they started on Fresh Prince, and use your name Will. Don't make them change your name because when they call you in the streets, they're gonna call you by that name.
Right.
And to this day, if I see Newman from Wayne Knight from Seinfeld, I know damn well his name's Wayne Knight, but I will yell Newman.
What's his name? What's his name? Alfonso on Silver Spoons?
I don't remember what his name was, but I know that he told Will that because he knew that that's what people would just yell out at you when you become a celebrity. And a lot of celebrities go through that. Martin Lawrence named his show Martin because he wanted to be called Martin.
Right.
Cosby. There's so many of them where the lead characters will use their first names and just stick to the first name.
Oh, yeah, look, he played. Oh my God, even the stereotype annoys me. He plays the hip breakdancing nephew, Alfonso Spears. So he does use his first name on Silver Spoons, but then doesn't. I guess you can't call yourself Alfonso again in a different show. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. I don't
think he could have brought it over, but I mean, he knew from that experience that they're gonna call me this name for years. And I would, I would do the same. I would 100% do the same. So I'm playing with my lights here. I'm gonna try and give you guys.
That's so funny you said that. I was literally doing the same exact thing as you were talking.
I'm gonna do some sticky icky chronic green for you guys.
Okay.
Today, not that I partake, but just because it seems funny to me sometimes.
It's not as visible.
We're doing green. Okay, hold on.
I'm going green too then.
So,
Yeah.
See if it's even visible on here. I mean, you can kind of see the green in my background a bit.
Yeah,
Right,
cool.
For anyone who's listening to this, go watch us on YouTube. You get to see us playing with the lights and giving you a green experience.
The thing is, my light is so bum is that like once I turn the colors on it, I can't get it back to actual white. So like,
let me
so, like it'll be like blue and then like yellow, then like disco.
Let me turn my ring light off. Oh my gosh, it got a little darker. My ring light went off.
This is podcast problems, y'all.
Yeah, I totally broke this. Okay, hold on. Let me just. Yeah, all right.
Okay.
But yeah, so for Jaleel White, I think he got on that show. He was supposed to only guest star on that series. He wasn't supposed to be a leading role.
Regular.
Yeah, that show. I mean, that show was a spinoff of Perfect Strangers. If anybody remembers that show.
Really?
Yeah, Perfect Strangers with Balki Bartokomous and Larry Appleton. Larry, cousin Larry. Sorry. Yeah, so Harriet worked in the building where those guys worked. She was the elevator operator in that building because back in those days, the 80s, people were still operating elevators. You still had someone hired to do that, which is crazy to me. But yeah, that's how they spun off her show. And then Jaleel White showed up playing Steve Urkel in an episode, went off, and then next thing you know, bong, they kept the character for all 9 seasons or whatever, even after they left and went over to
Did he ever do conventions and shit? Like
probably Jaleel White, you mean?
Yeah, being that he wanted to move away from the character, was he like convention guy this whole time or no?
I don't know. I know, like I said, he did Sonic the Hedgehog, so he would have done well at conventions because Steve Urkel and Sonic, those are 2 groups that he would have a lot of fans coming.
Well, I don't deny the Sonic part. I'm just imagining if.
I see. I see him. I see some pictures of him at a con.
As Sonic or going for Sonic?
For both Sonic and Family.
Yeah, I mean, once you go to a convention, whatever you've done, they're going to put it on your list.
Yeah. I'm wondering if you're trying to run away from that, maybe this Urkel weed thing is like the quick double back. So you can go and do like weed conventions now and double off the Urkel too.
Yes. Yeah, that makes sense.
Like that's
I'm interested in who I'm just wondering, who do you think owns the character? I feel like Steve Urkel is intellectual property. Yeah, because just because I play a character on a sitcom doesn't mean 20 years down the road I can use that character to sell weed. That's not a thing I can do.
Gotta be Warner
Brothers. That's not how that works. You can't just. Can you imagine Dean Cain shows up playing Superman somewhere and starts trying to sell weed?
Hey, could you imagine Dean Cain being racist? Like, no. So, it's not like Kevin Sorbo is like out here. I can use the Hercules likeness to promote.
True. Yeah. All of those.
That's interesting. That's an interesting question you ask, actually.
But it is true.
I meant to look into it because I was wondering about that. Because I think it's great that he's doing it. Watching the clip that they did at the beginning of the fight night for Thriller, and with Snoop looked super cool. It was super interesting, and it was funny. But at the end of the day, I'm like, who owns? Like, I know Jaleel White is Jaleel White. Jaleel White can wear glasses and suspenders and pull up his pants and not say Urkel. But the weed is called isn't it called PurpleUrkel?
It's called PurpleUrkel, yeah.
I mean, so I know PurpleUrkel isn't Steve Urkel, but what you're hinting at.
That's probably what it is, because I know there are other like weed brands that have used Urkel in something.
Oh,
I think.
Oh, interesting.
So I think the full moniker is probably what's the copyrighted intellectual property. Because I'm sure he would have probably used the whole thing, but PurpleUrkel rhymes. So that's actually a huge win. And also, like, he has another strain called the White. So he used his last name it's a lighter strain, apparently.
That's funny. But yeah, man, I mean, good for him. I think it's cool. I'm happy that he's out here doing his thing. That, like we said, I don't know how much those residual checks are from Family Matters. I imagine they're solid because the kid was on the show for almost the whole run, and that show was in syndication for a very long time. I mean, even just here in Montreal, when we were kids, CBC Channel 6 after school, they just played it day after day after day for years. So whatever money they were all making off of those shows, and also in other markets, right?
I don't know how legit these numbers are. I'm gonna list them off anyway. All right.
Hit us.
Let's see how much you think the cast of. Well, I'm not going to do that cast. The cast of Degrassi gets as residuals.
Which season?
Drake, for example.
I know.
Per check.
I know at one point the show was being run in marathons on American Saturdays and Sundays. So, and how often are the checks sent? Like quarterly, annually?
I think it's quarterly. I think residuals are quarterly.
So every 3 months. Oh God. I'm gonna say something like 5K. 10
for Degrassi quarterly?
5 to 10
for Drake? I don't know.
Drake wasn't on for a lot. No, but remember, it's not about who the actors are now. It's about when the show was on and what contracts you signed.
Cool,
I'm not saying.
Cool. What about you?
I'm saying cool for Drake.
I'm saying a cool $20.
Ractos. Oh my God. Drake gets residual checks of $8, guys.
No.
Yeah.
A residual check of $8.
He's posted it on Instagram before. He gets $8 for his residuals. No wonder he wanted to turn rapper.
Wow.
How about the cast? How about a more? I know. I'm sure his contract was doo-doo. What about the cast of a more popular show? Will and Grace, quarter.
Well, now that you've told me it's $8 for something like that,
no, but let me put
my 10K at Will and Grace then, because if Degrassi was making $8, I would feel like Will and Grace. I would hope someone's making 10K off of their show at least a year. At least a year.
And on that show, there's like 4 main characters. I'm sure they're all pretty even. What about you, Skinny?
You see, listen, because you're playing this game, right? But then we got to think about networks. We got to think about networks.
Don't overthink.
No, I'm not overthinking it. But listen, hold on. Okay, so Will and Grace was on what? That was NBC.
Yeah.
Okay, NBC. Yeah, any kind of NBC thing is getting like that's going to be my 20 Ractos because 50 racks is going to Seinfeld, and I know you're going to do that.
Okay. All right. Will and Grace cast 25. Skinny was the closest. Do you want to know, David? 25K.
Woo.
Okay. Thank God. Okay. I was getting worried when you said $8.
Now we're going higher. I'll give you guys that. Okay, we're going higher.
Okay. Friends must be nice.
Though. Okay.
David Caruso.
Friends in
CSI Miami.
Mm.
That's a tough one.
But that's CBS. They cheap.
Remember, we're going higher though. Yeah,
I was gonna say, if you said 25 stacks for Will and Grace, a sitcom that's 20 minutes for a 40-minute, like remember these shows all.
Could I make a change to my previous assumption?
Yes.
Yeah. Annually
now.
Oh my God. Whoa. Drake gets an $8 check per year.
I'm sure he's fired that agent. He's fired anyone else connected to getting him that show.
Yo, stop. We gotta hold on. You can't tell me the industry is that disrespectful that you're giving someone an $8 check.
When they're on one of the not the first time. Shows. It's not the first time I've seen that.
I mean, I know it's bad out there, but that is disrespectful.
Think about the older shows where they get nothing, right? Residuals were in the thing, like those Honeymooners, like Brady Bunch. Those are huge shows later that don't get the money now. Like, it sucks.
That is disrespectful to think someone got $8. Yo, you know how mad I would be if I got the check? I'd be like, yo, turn this sender. Just
I would save them. I would save them all up and have like a nice like burning ritual or something.
Burning. Hold on. I'm not burning nothing. That's $8.
Hold on. I just want to go over this. Cassie Steele, all these kids are getting like $8 checks.
They might be getting more, but he is getting that.
Shit.
Yeah. David Caruso, what was your number? Annually at this point.
35 to 50, 35 to 45 is the window I'm saying.
Someone will have to verify all these numbers later at some point because I didn't do much research here, but this is a fun game to play. What about you, Skinny?
You're doing we're talking about a long syndicated 40-minute show, huh? You're saying 35?
Yeah. I said 35 to 45.
Hold on, I gotta do this right when I reveal it.
You need to go say 60.
Okay.
Annually.
And for right now, I gotta do this right. Hold on. And for both of you, the price is wrong. It's $100,000 annually.
Damn! Woo!
I wish I had the sound too.
The taxes on that
boy. No, but even in the state, 100,000 and he gets hit with the taxes, he's still making 50K. As long as he's paying his taxes, though, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Mr. Snipes, pay your taxes.
Hold on. Oh my gosh, there's so many on this list.
Let me catch a TV role, boy. Listen,
hey, like we said, hey, anyone watching this, if you want to cast us in anything, third on the call sheet. That's I don't want to be second, and I don't want to be first. Third. I want to be the guy. I want to be the Kramer. I want to be the guy who walks in, says something funny, gets the crowd laughing, and walks the out. I'm done. And then the rest is.
How long is a syndication cycle? You know?
500 or 100 episodes. 100 episodes.
Okay, I'm just gonna say this, David. Yeah, Larry David and Seinfeld can each make $400 million per syndication cycle.
Oh wait! I think if a syndication cycle for a show that's finished, I would imagine they run the whole show if they can.
Mm-hmm.
Sheesh.
Mind you, you don't have to run the whole show, but if it is based on just 100 episodes,
okay,
because the syndication, 100 episodes was the syndication gold number. You needed at least 100 back in the day, and then they changed that. They don't do that anymore.
Oh yeah,
that's insane. Because now you have. Yeah. So Warner Brothers makes $1 billion a year from Friends. Still
stupid.
$1 billion.
That amount?
That's
2% of that goes to each of the stars every year. As we're talking 20 mil a year.
2%. Can you imagine 2% is 2 mil because your show was that popular and is on every
no wonder Lisa Kudrow doesn't care what she does anymore.
I don't give a damn.
Yo, I want to put some respect on Kudrow's name.
I know. As I said that, I was like, she's done. Yeah.
Like Kudrow had her own show. It didn't get carried long, but she's not the only. I mean, Schwimmer hasn't done much. Like, if we're gonna talk about people who haven't been in the public eye, Kudrow was on this. Yo, seriously, Kudrow's been on the Netflix series, the Space Force one. She had her own show. She's been a guest star in another show a couple seasons ago, and she's been in like a bunch of movies in small roles. Meanwhile, Schwimmer ain't done shit. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, even Matt LeBlanc's out there.
Exactly. All of them. What's his name? Chandler. The Matthew Perry. Matthew Perry. Yeah. Matthew Perry's had a few shows that got picked up, and he had at least a season, sometimes two. Courtney Cox went on to do Cougar Town. Jennifer Aniston did a few. And that lasted
a while too, right? Cougar Town.
Yep. Yeah, Cougar Town is like Courtney Cox probably has solid syndication money because Cougar Town and Friends combined, she's making bank. She's retired. She does not.
She's also part of the Scream franchise. Like, she's good.
Yeah, she's good.
She's good.
If she ever decides to do the convention circuit, she has so many things TV wise that people would be like, "Yes, here, take my money because you've been on every other show that I've seen."
Facts.
But Matt LeBlanc had Episodes, which is a British show that got pretty well, pretty good, solid reviews. He had Man with a Plan, and he had Joey, which got canceled, but he still had those. The only person I can think of that hasn't done much, Schwimmer.
I think Schwimmer was huge in like the late 90s, no, or early 2000s. Didn't he have like movies and stuff?
Schwimmer did a show. Schwimmer did a show where he was he was like a detective in New Orleans as a chef. Jay Grizz,
is that the one?
No, that's his sitcom. That's a British sitcom that he just got. That one just came out. It's not that bad. Jay Grizz, Schwimmer is the giraffe in Madagascar. Good point. That's something. That's you know.
That is listen. That is something. Huge.
Yo, man, that's working with Chris Rock. That's points. And Ben Stiller. Yeah. It's true. And Whoopi, is Whoopi the other voice or Jada? I don't remember who the other. Someone else is in there. That's really. I watched it. Yeah.
Madagascar is always made by like the other company that wasn't Pixar, right?
Yeah, DreamWorks. I think.
Yeah,
I think
their shit look
the other company.
No, they look funny to me. I'm sorry. Like nah. I can't. I can't. I'm sorry. I can't.
It's true.
They have,
yeah, you're right. I'm looking at his film his credits now, and I don't see anything aside from like random appearances on Curb and Band of Brothers. He was actually good on that. You ever seen that movie, Band of Brothers, the war movie?
Oh, I haven't seen it.
No, okay.
I haven't seen
he was pretty good in that.
Do you see a show he did like in 2015, 2014?
Episodes. He was in an episode of Episodes.
I mean, yeah.
New Orleans, Web Therapy.
Usual. Hey, we were all stars together.
Feed the Beast.
It's something chef or something.
Feed the Beast.
Oh, Feed the Beast. That's it. Yeah, he's a detective in that. Yeah, exactly. Like that's it. I've watched all of them do relatively small roles or star and stuff, and the only one whose shows I genuinely liked was Matthew Perry because his characters like Go On, Mr. Sunshine. He did really, really funny sitcom stuff. But
he did great movies too. Whole 9 yards or whatever it's called, right? What was it called?
Yeah, Whole 9 yards. And then the sequel, the Whole 10 yards.
10 yards,
yeah. With Amanda Peet and Bruce Willis, right? I think.
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, and that was filmed in Montreal, by the way. Anyone out there who's interested in some Montreal film trivia, that was another. Bruce Willis likes Montreal, and he did The Jackal, he did Whole 9 yards, and I think he did a third movie.
Isn't
Montreal.
Matthew Perry Canadian himself?
Yes, he is. He is the son of one of our most famous journalists. Can you look up Matthew Perry's stepfather? Because I'm trying to remember the name.
Matthew
Lloyd
Perry's stepfather.
Lloyd
is
Lloyd Robert.
Okay, his mom, Suzanne Marie Morrison, is a Canadian journalist and former press secretary to Pierre Trudeau.
Oh, cool.
His dad is an actor and model, so it's his mom that was the.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but who's the stepfather? Not his father.
Yeah, Keith Morrison. So both the mom and the dad were both journalists, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Keith Morrison, this is how I remember this. Keith Morrison is who Jay Baruchel did the interview with as to why I hate Jay Baruchel.
Oh, shit. You too?
Yeah. Because Jay Baruchel did an interview with Keith Morrison on Bravo after he left my high school, and in the interview told everybody that my high school was like the Dangerous Minds school, and that shit still bothers me to this day because the only reason he said that the school was mostly black. No, it's not.
No.
Dangerous Minds, the film, we've all seen, and you know what that movie was, and you can't tell me that there was a school like that in Montreal. So for him to go and do an interview and to say some ignorant shit like,
how old was he? He was young, right? He must have been young.
No. He had just done Tropic Thunder.
Oh,
like it was around when he was like Tropic Thunder era.
I forgot he was in that.
He's not that. Yeah, so it wasn't. He was doing well, like he was popping off, he was getting roles, and he got this interview as a Canadian actor. It's like 2000. What year did Tropic Thunder come out?
Tropic Thunder was like 10 years ago, maybe 2009, 8, something like that. 7.
I'm gonna say 7. The sweet years.
Say 8 or 9.
The sweet years.
Oh, here.
2008. Okay, so it was probably 2 years before that he made that statement. When he was for him to get Tropic Thunder
around 20.
Okay. He had done Undeclared at that point. Yeah. Judd Apatow, like he was doing stuff.
Yeah.
And I believe you. You're gonna do an interview and you're gonna talk about the school, the high school you went to, and you're gonna start calling it the Dangerous Minds School because you want to sound edgy. But don't throw us under the bus. My high school.
Where's he at now, though?
Huh? He went to Face After.
No, but where's he at now? Like, where's Jay Baruchel?
Oh,
he's How to Train Your Dragon, bro. He's doing pretty okay.
How to Train Your Dragon. He's doing RBC commercials, and he just got another season of the Moody's with Dennis.
Wait.
Not Dennis.
How to Train Your Dragon. That's DreamWorks.
Yeah, that's
DreamWorks.
It doesn't matter.
Not a big fan of DreamWorks out here.
Funny looking cartoon. They can't draw dragons, man. What do you mean? That dragon looks like a tadpole. Fuck out of here.
Oh my
You know what's
God.
funny about dragons? Who did which company did Raya and the Last Dragon?
Disney.
Was it?
Disney just did that one.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a Disney film.
It's an interesting take on dragons. It's not bad. I liked it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay.
I would recommend.
I'm down because I know Disney has been the pandemic has made their releases kind of a hard pill to swallow. You know, they keep moving things around. Shang-Chi, we got the trailer, which we'll probably talk about in a little bit. We got the trailer, but that's getting pushed back till September now because Black Widow's in July because nothing's coming out in June. They kind of just changed things up. So I'm like, oh, okay. I guess that's interesting. I don't know, man.
So, okay,
I'm not
let's
really
talk about it now then. Let's talk about it now.
Shang-Chi? Yeah, go ahead.
Why are you not hyped for Shang-Chi?
I am.
Let's talk about that.
For me, it's not that I'm not hyped. For me, it's not that I'm not hyped. It's the fact that
looking like Liu Kang out here.
Exactly. That's my thing. Thank you. My thing with Shang-Chi is all these movies and writers and stuff, they've unfortunately like created this archetype in Asian mysticism superheroes where they all look the same. And that to me is the problematic part. Shang-Chi,
but that's why I like that they chose someone like Simu Liu to do it because he doesn't look like the typical person you would see in a martial arts movie.
No long hair. Yeah.
Agreed. He looks like the clean cut boy. Funny enough, though, he looks like the side character on the new show Kung Fu on the CW, which is again the same exact archetype character of Asian mysticism and martial arts. And I'm not saying,
but at some point that's okay, right? Because that's part of the culture.
Yeah. I mean, it's not the only part of the culture is the problem, though. You can't only.
But for the purposes of action movies,
the purpose of the character.
Yeah, like you said, you asked me why I'm not hyped for it because Marvel doing Shang-Chi now when we have Mortal Kombat coming out just the end of this week. You have Mortal Kombat coming out this week that has a Liu Kang character and then another character who's an Asian kid with a dragon tattoo that is obviously the logo for Mortal Kombat. And then you're going to have Shang-Chi come out in September, and then you have every other, and you have the Kung Fu series. You know what it is? My thing with this is, remember when Black Panther came out and we got Black Lightning and we got all this stuff at the same time? I don't like that when they release these movies, they release them all in groups and waves, and it feels very targeted to make money off of a movement at the time. And that's why I'm not hyped for it, because I don't want
it does match I don't know who Cray Prince is, but it does match what he says here, where it's like it's gonna be equally as hype as Black Panther for another demo. 100%. I could see that. And the aesthetics, the feel, the story, it feels like there's a rooted, grounded story in this. It's not just like your typical what's it called? Sort of cinema. What's the word I'm looking for? Where they sort of it's not just an action film where they take a lot of culture appropriation thing and just kind of like dump it in there. It looks like this is their like redemption at the whole Danny Rand BS that came out, right?
Right.
It's not a cultural appropriation for them. They've been making these movies in Asia, East Asia for years. And once upon a time in the 70s, those movies killed over here in North America. There was a huge market for it.
Yo, and
now here we are
to be the best action movie that Marvel has ever released. Dude, martial arts movies, man. I have a soft spot for it. I grew up on that whole like Jackie Chan, Drunken Master, Jet Li, like everything. So I'm dude, I'm Sammo Hung. I'm like pumped for this. The only thing that I don't like is that it's going more in the Crouching Tiger direction of it. A bit. Just a lot of wire work. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Which kind of, although Crouching Tiger was beautiful, that was one thing. It was cool. I just wish it was less of that. You know what I mean? Just because I like the martial arts to be a bit more rooted in like real movements, right? So anyway. it still looks really good to me. I'm actually pretty pumped for it. I'm excited for something different. Like that's why I liked WandaVision, because it was different, right? I'm excited for just a different take on this universe that we're so used to now, you know?
Yeah. See, okay,
and it looks
so
like it fits, right? The aesthetics looks like it fits within this universe already.
Yeah.
Shang-Chi fits as something new in the MCU, but isn't something new in 2020, 2021. That's what it is. I'm trying to
But that's all MCU movies. It's their take on a certain genre, and then they just put MCU characters in it. They've been doing that. Ant-Man was a heist flick, you know?
Yep. Fair.
This is your ode to that. What was the recent one?
Wait, speaking of Ant-Man, sorry to cut you off.
No.
It's this movie takes place in San Fran too, doesn't it?
Right. Yeah.
So is Shang-Chi gonna be, or is Ant-Man gonna be the connection to Shang-Chi? It looks like it's along more of the comedic level, right? Aspect too. With the inclusion of Awkwafina.
Yeah.
So is she like the Luis of this universe, of this movie? I think.
I really want to know when it takes place, because I was watching Endgame yesterday and Infinity War the day before that. And by the way, those are a gift. We're very lucky to have those, because oh wow, I was like, we really got these movies.
Can you imagine if those had to get pushed back because of a pandemic?
That's crazy.
And on top of being a year apart, and we waited.
Oh my god, yeah.
Right. So, anyways, I was like, okay, the fact that 5 years happened and we're only getting things like 6 months after they came back, 2 weeks after people came back. I want to know what happened in them 5 years.
Yeah.
So
it's like, I'd be down to see what happens.
I guess they'll mention maybe he was dusted, right? And then he came back, and now his father's trying to get him back, whereas his sister was. Oh, okay, here it is. The dad has two kids, a daughter and a son. The son was being trained all his life to take over. All of a sudden, gets dusted. Daughter's the only one remaining to take over as the high lieutenant or whatever the chief lieutenant role is. Yeah. And then son comes back all of a sudden, causes rift between siblings. Who knows? That could be part of the story.
The daughter is 100% death dealer. 100.
Yeah, probably.
But like, Toby, what you just described is what the show Kung Fu is. And that's why I keep saying that's my concern with this stuff.
I see.
You just
it could just be a timing thing, you know?
Yeah, but like Kung Fu,
when did the show Kung Fu come out?
Just started. I think they're only on episode 2 or 3. But like the whole show is about. Yeah,
we keep cutting you off.
Sorry,
before you explain the show. Go ahead.
I'm really
but yeah, it's the same. Like, you know, you have to have a family lineage that links you to be able to have one of the 8 special weapons, which is similar to what we saw with Jackie Chan Adventures, and it's that same. And it's just that same thing over and over. This one is the 10 rings. This one is the 8 weapons. This one is the 6 talismans. I'm again, culturally, I get it. That's a nod to all that stuff in the culture. I just think that like you did a movie like Crazy Rich Asians, which has nothing to do with martial arts and just features Asians as wealthy and the divide. And I don't want Shang-Chi to be that, but I'm saying I wish the Kung Fu and Mortal Kombat and all those other movies coming out at the same time didn't just unfortunately show up at the exact same moment. Because then it feels like when you had the year where Armageddon and Deep Impact dropped the same time. You know, you get those years where like
but like that's what I'm saying. I think wasn't Shang-Chi supposed to come out sooner than this?
Yeah, exactly. That's why I feel like
probably would have been the first, and then all these would have came.
Yeah. And definitely that snap. I actually, now that I'm saying it, I'm like, that's probably where the story is gonna go. Like the snap is what's gonna explain his disappearance or him not being available to fight with the Avengers, like all the other heroes that we know of. And then we're gonna see that.
I don't even know, is Shang-Chi gonna be brought into the Avengers? You think? I don't even think they're gonna bring him in.
He's an Avenger now, so
whatever brought in. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? He's like the perfect replacement for a Black Panther, almost. Not a replacement,
but an inclusion.
Not in that sense, but in terms of like the fighting style, like, you know what I mean? The just, you know, Anyway.
But yeah, that's interesting. See, Skinny's right. One of the things that they've been doing a lot of is every time the movies are coming, they start to write the comics to be in line with, as opposed to right before, which is something. Well, speaking of comic books, I mean, I guess this is something we're going to see soon, but I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to DC stuff. It looks like in the comic book they're ramping up to kill Superman again. A whole bunch of new titles.
I was gonna say again. When did they kill him? And I was like, oh yeah, then.
A couple years ago. Well,
yeah,
20 years ago, 93.
Yeah,
sometime in the 90s. Yeah.
So I'm all for it. I'm ready for Superman to be dead for good.
Oh yeah, they're not gonna do that.
Yeah, I know. That's wishful thinking. It's just doesn't. He's just too OP as a you. How do you keep writing stories for a character you know is always gonna come out of it unscathed?
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Right.
And like, there's nothing to lose for him.
Yeah, and it's not interesting that they made him so powerful that he can't deal with the man on the street anymore. Spider-Man deals with the man on the street and can go into space. Superman is so powerful you can't have him interact with the man on the street. Batman, you could, but it would just seem like a waste of his talents. Like, he's the world's greatest detective, stopping these two guys robbing this old lady. Like,
he started out that way.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like, send one of his little sidekicks, little younglings, to go help with stuff and have him figure out how to fix the major issues in crime. So and then that's the thing. Superman doesn't have that team, which is why I'm interested, because one of the titles that they're working on for this is going to be Superman and the Authority, which is a nod to Wildstorm comics. And the Authority, Midnighter, and Apollo are going to show up, and they're going to build an entire team like the Outsiders, but for Superman. And that's one of the things that I think is going to be interesting. Because if you have a Superman influence of the Outsiders, that's going to be wild. Yeah, that's a crazy team. Because Batman and the Outsiders, but like, to create an equivalent of the Outsiders for Superman, you're giving him superpowered people. You're not giving him like Batman had what's his name? The guy that could turn into any element. He could turn into. Yeah, I can't remember Homeboy's name, but you had Katana, you had Halo, you had you had Geoforce. You had like a whole team of people that were powered, but Batman was keeping them under lock and key, and Black Lightning, and you had them all doing like stuff for Batman. But then you're gonna do a team for Superman. You're gonna have people like Apollo and Midnighter. Like, come on, Midnighter is essentially powerful. Midnighter, the bigger the city, the stronger Midnighter is. So when he's in Gotham or like Metropolis, he's essentially God level. But if you take him and put him like in the middle of the country, he's not as powerful.
Yo, but who do these people fight?
I know. That's the problem. You can't have there's nothing interesting to do when you are that powerful. So you keep writing crazier stories.
Midnighter. What kind of OP shit is that?
I'm telling you.
You got to keep him in like a rural town, like with like 100 people.
You'd have to like capture him and then put him underground in a bunker in the middle of nowhere, like in the desert, legit desert, and just leave him there, because that's the weakest he'll be. Because the second he touches foot in Las Vegas, this motherfucker would light up like a Christmas tree. You'd be so powerful.
Can I ask you real quick? Is Midnighter a black man or a white person?
White dude. LGBTQ character. Him and Apollo.
Oh shoot! Okay.
Him and Apollo are a couple.
That's still wild OP.
Yo, did Superman and Lobo ever team up?
In the comic, probably. I'm sure they have.
Because it's like that's one match. That's like one buddy cop movie I'd watch. If it was like Lobo and Superman like teaming up to go capture someone who's on a bounty and they need to work together, dude, that would be something I would watch right there.
Superman would go insane. He would probably end up killing him. He would not get dude. It would not work.
That would be dope. It would work though. Because Lobo is actually deep down a good person. He has contracts. He needs to go. He just collects bounties, right? He's
a bounty hunter.
It doesn't matter who's on the bounty. He's just there to collect the bounty. But outside of that, he usually ends up doing the right thing.
Yes. And he helps out the right side. If like things go awry and you could actually get through to him, he's just like, oh, yeah, I'm not, he says like he doesn't care. I'm the last of my kind, blah, blah. But I mean, if I'm not mistaken, when push came to shove and it was Superboy Prime, I remember him helping out trying to stop Superboy Prime.
Yeah, he teamed up with the Justice League. once.
Yes, yeah.
He did.
That's,
that'd be cool.
And
it'd be called.
We have one last thing.
Superman and the Main Man. You know, because he should refer to himself as
Superman and the Main Man.
That's great.
Wow.
Yeah.
Please no. So guys, I have to say mea culpa. I gotta take it. I gotta roll it back. I was hating on the idea of Spider-Man, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, and the Amazing Spider-Man, these Sony movies connecting with the MCU. I fought against it for a long time because I generally don't want it. But Alfred Molina has come forward and said that he spilled the beans in a way. Like my buddy told me, Alfred Molina spilled the beans worse than Tekashi 6ix9ine. Like he full on like. It's insane how much information this man gave about what his character is going to be doing. He talked about.
I don't even know. Did someone check if he's still alive?
You see now? Why did you do that?
They're going to de-age him because he's going to be picked up right where his scene ends in the Spider-Man 2. It's like, what are you doing? Why are you telling me?
But that's
you have
okay.
A contract?
So that's. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's all. That's what I was saying. There's no NDA. What the hell?
I had some questions. Okay, there's a lot of things he revealed. First of all, the de-aging thing, which makes me go, oh, okay. So we are going back to the point in time, like you said, where the second movie ended, but it was Tobey Maguire. So what does this mean for this? So is he still coming from a different universe? A multiverse? I'm assuming that's still the possibility here because there's no other way to explain how he knows this Spider-Man.
It has to be a multiverse because he says, doesn't he say in the thing, they're pulling me out from the moment before I die?
Yes, from the moment in the river.
Yo, dude. I'm like, dude. Stop snitching.
You're fired. Oh, you're fired. You're so
fired. So it'll be like how they de-age Samuel L. Jackson in Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
They'll de-age him in that manner.
But Sam's black, so they didn't actually have to de-age him much.
You know what? Alfred over the years definitely doesn't look like he was taking care of himself too much.
Yeah, exactly. No offense to him. No offense.
He's like, I think one of his things, hold on. He says, I don't have the same physicality I had 17 years ago. That's just a fact. Yeah. But I then remembered that it's the tentacles that do all the work. So he realizes he doesn't have to do much physically. It's just those CGI tentacles and the wire work that does everything for him. So he doesn't have to get into any sort of training shape or anything like that. Might have to lose a few pounds if he's gained weight. But outside of that,
again,
I think
CGI, man, they're just gonna CGI everything.
Yeah. So then that means Jamie Foxx too. He'll be probably plucked out from the moment that he was in Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying.
That's how you get your Sinister Six.
Yep. Yeah.
Wow.
Alfred Molina spilling this much reveals so much for what's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
No, actually, okay. Him revealing this much reveals so little because they're just like, nah, say that shit. You think Kevin Feige allowed this man to go through the whole shit and he's not dead? Stop.
That's what I'm saying. It feels almost like a setup, even though it feels like it's not because of how it came out. I just don't know if they gave him the whole truth. And you know how Marvel does it, tell you what you need to know until you need to know what you need to know, right? So they might have just felt like this was not, people are already speculating on multiverse anyway. So he's just saying, hey, yeah, it is gonna be a multiverse, which is fine. Confirm that. That's okay. But Tobey Maguire already said he wouldn't be a part of this, right? So there's no 3 Spider-Man thing going on here.
Tobey likes money.
Andrew Garfield hasn't said anything, right?
Andrew
Garfield Tobey likes money.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Oh yeah, I get
that. I was like, what?
One of these days, I had to do it. Yeah, no, I'm excited for this, man. I wish it was. It's already filming, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's almost done.
Yeah,
no, wait,
that's amazing.
Filming?
I could have sworn.
Oh no, or just started. They must have just started when they gave us the title. which was a couple weeks ago.
Right.
That was when they started filming. Okay, yeah. Because I was just like, wait, are they finished filming? It's like, no. That would be
That's
insane.
crazy. What do you think the purpose of them bringing him back is? Like, who's bringing him back?
I think Skinny hit it
or
on
Electro.
I think it's Sinister Six, and I think someone's building the team, and I think it's someone who's just trying to cause all sorts of commotion, and we're going to see something insane. I think we're gonna the Sinister Six movie that they wanted to work on.
They're gonna
Sony,
do it in this.
Yeah, because Sony doesn't want to continuously work with. Sony doesn't want to continuously work with Marvel Studios, right? They don't want to be beholden to Marvel Studios.
No, hence why they're still making deals in other streaming platforms.
Yeah, but that's why it's smart of them because they have the agreement with Marvel right now. Marvel's still backing this movie. But Sony still owns the rights and essentially gets to sign off on this because Feige can only do so much. He doesn't actually get to decide everything because it's not his property. So Sony goes,
sorry.
But Sony goes, Spidey is still in your movies. That's cool. But we're going to need to bring in some of our boys from our Sony properties because we're going to start trying to do some stuff. So you guys can do what you need to do with him, but we're going to be bringing in our boy Electro. We're going to be bringing in our boy Doc Ock. We're going to be bringing in so-and-so from this movie. And we're just going to have them, once they start doing this multiverse stuff, we're going to connect it so that when our eventual relationship comes to an end, like they already tried to do last time, people won't be as mad because Sony's already put in place a universe for them to build up to.
Contingencies. Yeah, 100%. I could definitely see that. But this feels to me like a reverse Into the Spider-Verse.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And Into the Spider-Verse, we have different kind of Spider-Man coming together. This feels to me like the opposite with the villains coming from different universes. But who's going to be the one? Is it Kingpin going to be the one who has this machine? Like how? That's what I'm saying. Like I'm interested into seeing how the villains get pulled into this.
Hell, man.
Tinkerer dead?
Who?
Tinkerer.
Possibly, yeah, he is.
He's still alive, and they just made him a big
alive.
villain in the latest game. So yeah, Tinkerer.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
I'm wondering.
There's all this tech out there, so.
Yeah, Toby's idea about Into the Spider-Verse, if Sony's just like, well, let's just make the animated universe and the live action universe touch. And when that last thing happened and that multiverse fracture happened, we saw 2099 Spider-Man voiced by Oscar got the tap is going to come through. It's just like, yeah, okay, let's see this. Let's start connecting these. Let's start, there's an animated universe when Miles Morales flies through the Spider-Verse from the anime one into the real world, he becomes physical.
Miles get introduced in this though?
Dude, this could be wild.
Oh my God.
This could be insane.
That would be nuts.
That would be crazy.
Wow. That would be hype.
That would be crazy. But that's it. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping that they're going to push the envelope and do something interesting for us. Because like I said, I was against the idea of a crossover because I don't want to see the same things over and over again. But Skinny just had an epiphany, so I'm going to shut the.
No, I just want to. I want to ask the question: if
Sony
owns Spider-Man?
Yes, and Spider-Man related characters.
Fuck. So they can't do a thing where like Marvel will just be like, "Hey, just give me that Miles and you can keep Peter."
No, man.
Bitches.
No,
bro. Sony is holding on. This is like out of every IP that Marvel sold off, this was, I don't even know why.
It's because
I don't even know what.
Spider-Man, they were going bankrupt, and Spider-Man was the most expensive one.
Yeah, go down with that ship.
Again, the last time I read it,
Marvel,
the last time I read it, they said Spider-Man as an intellectual property for movies alone is a $4 billion property. At the 100%. Time when I read that, a couple years ago, 100%. Just Spider-Man. Disney bought Marvel for what, 9 billion, 11 billion, some number like that. So 7. Without Spider-Man, 7, I don't remember what it was. But all that to say, if they got Spider-Man is like either a third or half of that on his own.
Yo, he is the most out of any comic book character in history, the most relatable, just period on every level. Like everyone sees themselves in Spider-Man in every way possible. who hasn't gone to school and been the awkward kid and wishes they had powers, and then this kid gets bitten by a spider, the most ridiculous thing, and gets these crazy spider powers that he's now kicking ass with. Like, dude, it's just it's I can't wait.
He deals with falling in love for the first time. He deals with
beat up. Death.
He deals with getting beat up. Yeah. His best friend's dad doesn't like him. We've all had a best friend's dad that walks around. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
We've all had that. So, like, he's relatable as fuck, man. And he's it's amazing character.
Look how hyped Civil War wouldn't have done as well without Spider-Man.
I know.
See how hyped people were when the trailer came out and you saw Underoos for the first time?
That
Dude. Wow, man.
That was crazy.
I remember that day. People were like, "Wow!"
I know. I still go on YouTube to watch people's reactions to Spider-Man.
That was insane. It was.
Yeah, dude.
It was
nuts. And they made him look. It was beautiful. The costume, everything, the movement. His first confrontation with Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
in the airport where he like you see him just stop the metal arm. Yeah, and he's nerding out as he's fighting. You're like, oh my god, this is it. This is. Like, I love you, Tobey Maguire, but like, this is it.
You think that he'll make a cameo?
Toby? I don't think he will.
No, because just as you mentioned, his first interaction with not Toby, but like with Spider-Man, his first interaction with Falcon and Winter Soldier, they are going to be in New York next week. I just don't see how wild shit's going to happen and Spider-Man doesn't know or show up. Me wishing.
I mean, he's dealing with other things right now that they're probably not mentioning on the show, which is he's on the run because he's pretty much a fugitive.
Even
by the time we left
him. With a thwip or something. You know, like the old X-Men cartoon that did that.
With the whip.
And with the
Remember when he did it to Falcon and Falcon's like, is that coming out of you? And it was like a weird nod to the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
That was great.
That's great.
Amazing.
Oh, man. Wow, I get so happy talking about Spider-Man.
I know.
Yeah, I'm wearing the cap today. I was like,
yeah, I noticed.
I have 75 caps, and I wear this one so often because I'm like, I want to wear Spider-Man again.
That's right.
Like it's yeah. There's some really. Oh yeah, I didn't put it in Geek News and Rumors, but they announced the directors for the
Into the Spider-Verse.
The 3 directors. Yeah,
3 directors.
So hold on.
I mean, it's an animated film, right? So there's usually a lot of people working on it.
Yeah, true. What am I saying?
Here we go. New directing trio. Joaquim Dos Santos.
Yeah.
Kemp Powers. And what have they done before?
Joaquim Dos Santos worked on a lot of the animated stuff, if I'm not mistaken. He's worked on animated Spider-Man stuff in the past.
Okay. All right. As long as there's some credited thing in there that has to do with okay, that's fine with me. Lord and Miller are writers on Shang-Chi. Okay.
Oh, cool. I didn't realize. Invincible, not Invincible, what am I saying? Skinny, you just mentioned Winter Soldier and Falcon. I thought we should, I feel like we should tackle
naturally, for sure.
Guys, speaking of making $4 million a year, Miss Julie Louis-Dreyfus, who never has to work a day in her life again. I just want to remind people every time she's on screen, it is a gift because one, she's an heiress. Some people don't know that. She comes from money. She already came from money.
She is money.
She is wealthy. She is a wealthy person. She does not need to work.
She didn't have 3 names.
Exactly. 2, she went on and did Seinfeld. She has Seinfeld money. 3, she went on and did the New Adventures of Old Christine. She has New Adventures of Old Christine CBS money.
Veep.
4, she has Veep. Guys, she has money. She doesn't need to do any of this.
Anything.
Now she got Disney money.
Disney money. Coming in.
Okay, she's for sure Madam Hydra. For those who don't know, we watched Winter. I was about to say Winter Falcon, but it is Winter Falcon at this point for us. We watched the last episode and a big reveal that was so random, unexpected. Didn't even know any crazy, Julia Louis-Dreyfus is going to be playing Madame Hydra. I think.
Well,
based off what I've seen,
Valentina.
She has the name Allegra, whatever. But that's the thing. It's not even us guessing. That's
speculation at this point. It's said, yeah.
You know what I love about this?
He has
I love that Fox did Viper and Marvel MCU did this Madame Hydra.
Yes.
I love that they took a different Madame Hydra.
Do you think we'll see her in action at any? I mean, I don't know if.
No, I think we're gonna see. Yeah, we're gonna get, if we get any scenes, it's gonna be like the Nick Cage kind of like a little bit of the gun action.
Cameras.
Yeah.
That's what I don't like. That's what I want movies and stuff to move away from, is that quick, flashy Bourne Identity where you don't know what the hell's happening. Camera angle.
Oh yeah, I definitely hate that. No, I 100% agree. Sometimes you watch these fight scenes and things move so fast, you don't even know who hit who.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah. Oh shit! Wait, who's that? Oh, is that who I wanted to win? Oh, they're all different. Okay.
What the hell was that? Did we just have sex? Like what?
They changed the camera angles on sex scenes too.
Oh my god,
that's great. No, I'm super excited for that. I want to see where her role goes. Matter of fact, when I saw her, I was like, oh, is Madame Hydra the power broker this whole time? But then there was a scene with Sharon Carter where she's on the phone and she's talking to someone French on the phone saying, hey, if it wasn't for me, you'd be stuck in the Moroccan jail. And it sounds like, and if you actually watch with captions on, like I do a lot of the times, it says George Batroc on the bottom. So you know she's talking to and then you find out at the end that it is him when he delivers I guess weaponry to Flag Smasher Carly Morganhouse or whatever her last name is. So is she the power broker, or was this just like a random one-time deal where she wants to spark some kind of revolution? What is her stake in this?
Okay, so you're asking about Sharon, what I think Sharon is doing?
We just missed her last episode or 2 episodes ago.
I'm still dismissing her. Until she does something more interesting. What she made a phone call. That don't mean shit. That don't mean shit.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I actually ended it with like, what's her stake in this? I still don't believe she's in charge.
No, I think she's working. So I remember we originally thought potentially she was working for Thunderbolt Ross. That was a theory I had pitched last week. We had a few of us who were on board with that. I now think
Madame
that
Madame Hydra is
Yeah, I think Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, aka Val, aka Madame Hydra, is going to be the one that's working with our good friend over there. Because remember, Valentina was like Nick Fury's number 2 for a minute in Shield because they were a couple together.
Yeah, so that's her background. So we know she has ties to that organization.
So she's a Shield agent, former Shield agent, who is also a double agent, like Spider-Woman and every other woman in every woman they put in Shield, they make them a
Sharon
agent, which is so
too,
rude,
though, right? Like Sharon is also a former Shield agent. So is that their connection where Madame Hydra is Shield? Remember they also had the femme fatale, or what was the name of the crew? There was like a Marvel crew with all the female agents that was led by Madame Hydra.
Wait,
hold on.
I don't remember, but I know what you're talking about. But yeah,
sorry. Sometimes so long ago, your memories of these things are like.
But that's essentially what I'm saying. I think Madame Hydra is working with Sharon. I think that's the connection. I don't know if they're working to try and get Flag Smasher to work with them, or if they're trying to do what Hydra was doing in the past, which was to cause so much chaos that they have to turn to give more power to Shield or to any organization, and then we're going to find out that Hydra never died. It was just lurking in the background, secretly planning to make a comeback and seize more power. Or crazy thought, guys, I'm going to throw this out there. Everything that happens in New York leads them to create Hammer.
Possible.
Crazy. Because we have this. We're getting information about the secret invasion show that's going to be coming through. That's going to have to work with stuff. We know that Skrulls are in the MCU.
We've had mentions of the Raft.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Who'd they just cast for that? They just casted somebody for Secret Invasion.
Emily Clark.
That is
Emilia Clarke.
Spider-Woman 110%.
You think she's Spider-Woman?
Because Spider-Woman wasn't Spider. No, who was it?
From Daenerys Targaryen to Spider-Woman? I don't know.
Who was it? The one that ended up being a secret agent for the Skrulls? Was it Spider-Woman?
Yes, I think so. Yeah,
in the comic book, she was the queen. She was the Spider-Woman.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
I don't want her Spider-Woman.
Neither
I
do
don't
I.
want her Spider-Woman. No, don't do it.
No.
Nah, dude, you just said that, and I like full on. I'm like, please don't make her Spider-Woman. That's not who I want. God damn it.
Don't make her Spider-Woman. I'm like, wait, she's a brunette? Oh, okay, yeah. She was just in Terminator. She's jacked up. Yeah.
See, what makes it hard to make any of these predictions is that what Marvel has done so brilliantly is take things that we know, things that we don't know, and mix them in a way where we're just like, oh, that makes sense, but fuck, we could have never thought of that. Right. So I'm like, there's so many things. Like I said, the femme fatale thing, and I'm like, but that was the Viper version of Madame Hydra that started that crew. But could they be potentially bringing that into this with Sharon Carter? Because a lot of it takes place in Madripoor for the femme fatales, and the X-Men are sort of involved in that as well in the comic books. Honestly, I don't know.
Honestly, I don't know.
I'm just throwing a bunch of things out there.
No, but I mean, that goes back to what we were saying about Civil War, about Spider-Man. Like they flipped so many things to fit into this new universe that they're creating that it makes sense that we're like we have ideas about what they could do. For all we know, they're just taking puzzle pieces and making a completely different puzzle. You know, like
exactly. I hate that it took me 5 episodes to feel into Falcon and the Winter Soldier, though, to the point where I'm actually like theorizing. Whereas 100%. Wanda, within the first episode, I'm like, oh, where is this going? Right?
I'm with you guys. I'm in the reverse where I loved every episode and I like this one kinda, and then there's a big part of this that I didn't need.
What?
I don't give a fuck about that goddamn boat. I do not need to know about the boat.
Okay. That whole boat thing, sure.
Yeah,
you're trying to ground Sam in some like values, which would make sense to people for why he is loved and being. I get that, so I'll let that pass because we never got that from Sam before. That side of Sam before. Sorry,
I love the training. I just wanted
cool. I hope the training was over a span of like 3 to 4 months, so I know you have adequate training, not just like 5, 6, 7 days. He changes clothes 5 times.
But hopefully it's Falcon. Hold on, wait. Man's is Falcon. You gotta be able to be like kind of girthy and not girthy. Pause on that. You gotta be like jacked a bit in order to be. Flipping around in wings and like being aerodynamic.
For sure.
I'm so happy I'm not the only one who makes weird statements on this pod sometimes.
They want to make sure he's got girth and he's down to earth. That's
all I'm saying is
down to earth.
No sissy boy is using mechanical wings and flipping around the sky, being 110 pounds. So you got to be able to do something.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll let that slide. Marvel is just like Marvel is just showing us that he is ready to go. I get that. Certain things you just kind of have to like suspend disbelief. I love the fact that he gave his wings to Torres.
Falcon,
which means that we'll probably see Torres at some point. Hopefully that's what that means, or it might be an Easter egg for fans, and then it just is nothing.
I honestly, I think they're going to develop a Young Avengers type thing soon. I'm seeing it
sooner than we thought.
You introduced way too many characters. I'm trying to catch
my reading lately. Every show, it seems like I have the comic book we're talking about.
Yeah, but you know what? Raise it up for anyone but Toby showed again. For anyone who's listening, you have Hulkling. Can you raise it up so I can see? You have Hulkling. We've met Wiccan. We've met Iron. We've met Patriot. We've met and then
Elijah,
Speedy on the cover.
Speedy is I guess he's too fast. I don't think he's on the cover.
Oh, he's not.
No.
But yeah, man, we've met 2 out of the 4 of that cover from that trade, and then we've met Stature. We're gonna meet Hawkeye, Kate Bishop's Hawkeye. We've been meeting them. They've been introducing them every.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Kang. Yeah.
Wow.
Dope.
I wonder if we'll
They're
get
gonna fight Kang. Oh snap! Okay, bong. Okay, got that. That's it. Kang is gonna go after the old Avengers, especially Ant-Man, because he's pissed that he messed up their timeline, and the young kids are gonna have to go and do some shit.
Yep.
That's that. That's it.
Yeah.
That's
So
the Teen
after-
Titans motto, though, right?
Yeah.
The big boys get taken out, the young guns come in.
Well, yeah, because you don't need the young guns if the big boy's still there. So.
Exactly.
You got the bazooka. What you need a handgun for? Shit.
It's true. It's true.
Oh,
So
shit.
true. Wow.
What else? Oh, okay. Final thoughts though, because the show this week is the last episode. Where do you guys think what's going to happen? Where's it going to go?
John Walker fights Falcon, or sorry, John Walker and new Captain America face off easy. Yeah. John Walker probably wins.
What?
I think so. It can't end on a good note. If it ends on a good note, I'll be mad. I want something like catastrophic or something that like forces the good side's hand to happen at the end. Like they get overpowered or something. Carly,
and they have to do something drastic.
Yeah, I think Carly succeeds in whatever her plot is.
Oh shit. Okay.
Sharon, I don't care.
Yeah.
Is that pretty much it? That's pretty much it. I don't think we're gonna see Zemo for a long time again.
Yeah. Agreed.
He's on the raft. I don't think he's getting off. Yeah.
Skinny, what do you think?
Walker's gonna get. Okay, Walker's gonna cause trouble for new Falcon Cap, but he's gonna get away based on being sent to the raft, and that's not gonna mean shit. Bucky's gonna go off and probably end up in Wakanda as White Wolf on some shit, and we're gonna see him in Black Panther 2.
I see that.
Ooh, interesting.
Carly's either gonna sacrifice herself after realizing what she did was dumbing, or she's just gonna go on to be like an actual villain and realize that she's become the villain and then sacrifice herself, and then that'll be the end of that.
See, this would be too easy, Grizz. Walker and Zemo on the raft, and Ross and Elaine or Madame Hydra approach them for Thunderbolts.
Yeah, wow. It'd be so easy.
It's so easy and possible. Sure, yeah.
Yeah,
that's what. I mean, that's the most popular theory online already.
It's
like that's why I was saying
for Marvel. That's why I'm like, no, you know. But
anyway. I also don't see Zemo teaming up with Walker though.
Yeah, after all that,
yeah.
But we'll see.
I mean, I'm of the mind that we're gonna get something with Val. I think Val is gonna play some role with Sharon. So I know you said you didn't care, and to be honest, I personally don't really care that much either. But I'm just saying, based on what they've done, I think we're gonna see that. I think we're gonna get Walker fighting, like you said, Cap, Falcon Cap and Bucky. I'm hoping that he's gonna realize what he's doing is going too far. And he's going to become a vigilante with his own shield, as opposed to just getting arrested and being put under.
Oh man,
I'm hoping, because in the comic book,
anti-hero Punisher stuff.
In the comic book, yeah, pretty much, he becomes the U.S. agent, and it's going to ruin his life with his wife and all that stuff. But he's going to essentially be that guy. He's going to be a vigilante U.S. agent. And I agree with Toby. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I agree with you that they're not going to end it with something positive. I think there is going to be something that it's going to end with us being like, holy shit. And then it's like post-credit scene type nods to where we might see them next. And then that's it. And we're going to be like, I think we're going to be shook. I think we're going to be shook with what happens. Because
like WandaVision kind of wrapped up with a little bit of a neat bow. You know what I mean? There's still like the mid and post-credit scenes that were like, ooh, but it was almost too neat at the end. And I don't want this to be as neat, especially considering how the episodes have gone for me. I need something like major at the end to like draw me back. Either if they're going to have a second season of the show at some point, I want something to make me feel like, okay, I can rely on this show for like that good source of information for what's happening next.
Also, one of the things that we can take into consideration, the series doesn't have to wrap up like a movie does, which is what we've been saying this is a 6-hour movie. But a movie always comes with a bow at the end. These shows, because they're shows technically, whether or not they should have split them as to episode 1, 2, episode 3, 4, and episode 5, 6 together, it doesn't change the fact that it's still technically a mini-series type structure, and we could end it with something that's shocking and crazy, and we're like, oh fuck, and it shakes, you know. So that's one of the advantages of doing it as a series, because Infinity War ends as a movie with everyone getting dusted, but we knew we had a year coming where a sequel, and we knew they were coming back.
Right.
You know,
exactly.
This is
even though it was shocking as hell seeing people get dusted, you always, you know, it made you want to see the next thing.
They were all coming back. Yeah. Like they pretend like they might not, but we all were like, okay, guys, we've read the comic books, we know how this stuff works.
And quickly in the trailer for the next episode, we see Sam Wilson opening up a briefcase. We don't get to see what's in the briefcase. What do you think is in that briefcase?
Oh, it's his new Wakandan suit. It's his
vibranium suit.
His new wings.
Vibranium wings. Hold on. Wait, where's the camera? There you go.
Vibranium wings. I think it's
vibranium wings.
I mean, if you're not gonna have superpowers, please protect my guy.
Yeah.
Well, he already. Can you imagine? He already pulls his wings in as a shield around him. Now he's gonna have a vibranium. Yeah, exactly. Now with vibranium. And they won't be able to tear the wings off, because last time they ripped his wings off, which is that's what I think one of the reasons that Bucky was just like, do my boy a solid, because no one will ever be able to. You can't rip vibranium wings off. It's never gonna happen. So
yeah, it's gonna be dope. I can't wait.
Yeah, man.
I can't wait.
Guys, speaking of superhero stuff, I know the superhero bubble is about to pop. If it's not Marvel or DC, I feel like a lot of this stuff is going to have an issue. We're going to talk about ThunderForce in a quick second, but I wanted to talk about Invincible first. Invincible is still really solid, and I think Amazon got in just in time with The Boys, the season 2 of The Boys, the spin-off of The Boys that's coming, and Invincible. They're good. I don't think Netflix is going to do well with the Jupiter's Legacy. As someone who's read the comic and saw the trailer, the comic's good. I'm really worried about what the show's going to be. Fingers crossed, we'll see what that's going to be. But when it comes to these shows, Invincible, most recent episode, solid.
I loved it because it was so much toned down compared to the week before's bloody mess.
Yeah, but he gets. Poof.
Yeah, he gets bumped up. He still gets rocked. I'm not saying he doesn't get rocked.
But like, he doesn't even really win these fights, does he? No, like, someone else comes in and wins for him.
He doesn't win fights for pretty much like the first half of the first compendium. He constantly keeps getting saved.
Where is, I know there's a problematic issue later on, where issue 110, where he gets harassed by a female companion.
Oh yeah.
Not harassed. He gets sexually assaulted.
Okay, I didn't want to say it, but do you think they're gonna do this on a show?
Yeah,
I think they will, because as someone who's read the entire comic book, and I'm rereading the third compendium now, but the way the entire story ends, unfortunately, that has to happen because something down the road happens.
Right.
And if they don't do that, I mean, if they want to make it that he technically, in the comic book, when that happens, where he's assaulted, technically his girlfriend had broken up with him. And he wasn't cheat. Like, I mean, obviously it's not cheating in the context of what happened.
It wasn't up to him.
Yeah, it wasn't.
he got beat up, then sexually assaulted.
Yeah, he doesn't consent to it. So if in the comic book they switch it up, and
I don't mean to laugh.
No, I know. You're more laughing because it's such an awkward, crazy story that, like, when they wrote this comic book, we're gonna write that one of the lead character is sexually assaulted, and then that's it. He doesn't deal with it. He just keeps going about his life. There's like a little bit of PTSD in the comic book. He doesn't get intimate with his girlfriend / fiance, wife, whatever. But there's like a big part of it where in the comic book, they're not together for a minute when it happens because of something. So I'm wondering if they're going to rewrite the story that he consents to it and has a moment of weakness because in the comic book, if I'm not mistaken, she just breaks up with him. He gets upset. He goes out. She sees him. She fights him. She assaults him. And then like later on, he works it out with his girlfriend.
Right.
So there's a way you could frame it where it's not a sexual assault. It's just he does a bad thing. He, you know, speaking of friends, they're on a break and he might just do what he does on a break.
Sure, yeah. Although he's not that kind of character. So anyway,
no, exactly. It would be very different for the character to do something like that. But again, if you guys are looking to read Invincible and you want to get ahead, I would say read the compendiums, read the comic books, because like everything we've seen so far, they've changed in such very interesting ways. Super interesting ways.
I like for this episode that they didn't make it his friend that got turned into a Reaniman. Yeah. I like it that they made it that random dude, because I'm like, okay, cool, I can deal with that.
Yeah, stuff like that, because they skipped. So for that to happen in the comic book, Kirkman acknowledges the fact that he essentially reuses like story arcs. Because in the comic book, the first time in their high school that someone uses people is one of the teachers has gone crazy and uses the students and turns the students into bombs. And then later on they reuse a similar arc where one of the students is taking students and turning them into Reanimen, which are these like he like gives them lobotomies.
Like goddamn.
Yeah, he like gives them lobotomies and essentially turns them into half human, half robot like monstrosities. And that's crazy. And I'm wondering what they're doing, because that whole section of that happens when they're at college, and they're not. And the way they did it in this episode is they're visiting the college while they're still in high school.
Yeah.
So that to me is a huge.
The arc with his wife, Omni-Man's wife, finding out. Does that happen? That doesn't happen as quickly either.
That doesn't happen at all in the comic book. In the comic book, the way the wife finds out is. And like the way they're setting it up where like the tailor is informed, and that they're adding really interesting elements to the story, because in the comic book, that's not how it happens. I'll tell you guys right now, in the comic book, Omni-Man does what he does. He kills the team and then reveals to Mark, hey, these are my people. We need to take over the planet. Are you with me? And then Invincible's just like, nigga, are you crazy? And then starts fighting his dad.
And then gets beat up.
And then and that's so, you know, that episode that Skinny you're talking about where he's like really badly beat up and he ends up in the hospital.
That was supposed to be from his dad.
That was from his dad in the comic book. It's not from Battle Beast and those guys. He actually wins the fight with Titan and that. So it's interesting. I'm like I said, you know, we watch because we've seen them adapt all these things for years. We've seen them adapt MCU stuff from the comic books. So it's always super interesting if we've read the comic book to see how they did it. Civil War, they did a really interesting job. So seeing how they're doing this cartoon versus the comic book is fascinating to me, because
they don't necessarily have to change much either, right?
No, it's like watching an alternate version of how the story is supposed to work out. And of course, because it's still Kirkman, he's staying true to what he wanted to do. He still has all the elements and all the pieces. He's just moving them around in different ways, and it's cool.
It's cool. I really like it. I'm with it. I'm not mad at it at all. I like it.
Yeah, I like it.
So if you guys again watch, it's on Amazon Prime. Go check it out because it's a fun show. It's a fun show. And again, like I was saying, the superhero bubble is popping, and I'm not sure we're gonna get really good superhero stuff.
Oh, we're definitely
from
not.
All of these comics.
We're definitely.
I could have told you that since Bloodshot.
I mean, perfect example is ThunderForce.
Agreed. Yeah, ThunderForce was.
Oh, you watched it?
I like ThunderForce.
No, you.
I watch it and I like it. But here, check this out. I like it if you watch it and you remove the fact that it's supposed to be heroes. If it's just a concept of like a crazy story where these two girls get powers and just run around like, because they obviously don't know what they're doing, and you just watch it for the comedy and not the action. I liked it for just the comedy.
The comedy has to be there, though.
I mean, I because I like Melissa McCarthy. I like the,
I do
when
too.
she does,
I do too. But when I prefer when she.
Yeah, but
certain times it feels like it feels forced. That's the thing. Sometimes.
Okay,
Yes.
I'll tell you
Well,
exactly where it felt
ThunderForce,
forced.
yes.
I'll tell you exactly where. The Urkel joke did not need to happen at all.
Urkel.
I don't remember the Urkel joke.
Wait.
Don't you know who Urkel
What's
is? You remember Urkel? Did I do that? Did
Oh,
that
right,
didn't need to
right,
happen
right,
at
right,
all.
right.
At all.
Yes.
That no. That like
Fair.
why was that
I
even
agree.
in the movie? Like no. And not only that, but the other girl who's in Mom and like
Octavia Spencer?
Right, Octavia. Where was your acting in this movie?
She didn't need to.
She didn't do nothing.
Okay, I agree. Yeah. Octavia didn't have the gravitas that she usually has. And Melissa McCarthy was being too silly. I think one of the issues with this one is, and people have been saying it, Melissa McCarthy, you know, bless her husband, he's the one that directed it. He's the guy that gets his face all messed up.
Yeah.
Ben Falcone, I think.
Yeah.
I think those two he might not need to direct her every time. Maybe you could have gotten a different director. I think if you had a different director and you had someone do a pass outside of your clique, you might have gotten a better movie out of this.
Yeah, I think so too. I think they work magic together. Obviously, they work well together, but certain instances, I think the husband could take a bit of a backseat. You can kind of tell, like,
yeah,
they don't want, sorry, they don't want Octavia Spencer to come across as a sidekick, right?
Exactly.
But because she doesn't have meaty roles, like she doesn't really have a meaty role in this, she comes off as a sidekick.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Even though the invention was hers, everything like.
And then,
this character wouldn't be there if it wasn't for Octavia Spencer's character.
You're gonna leave out for yourself. Sorry, it was meant to be all for her. But I mean, invisibility. Stop it. That was trash.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like
the invisibility thing had
like,
matter of fact. If you're even gonna, this could have been problematic a little while back to make the black character who invented everything invisible from time. From time to time. But
that's a valid. But you know what it was, and it's funny. I just had a conversation with someone about this. The like magical Negro stereotype of the sidekick is done so much that they sometimes do it without meaning to do it, and I don't think that's what they were trying to do with Octavia.
No, I don't think so either.
But funny enough, she is the magical Negro sidekick. She's the scientist with all the information who gives you the magical powers, helps train you, helps prepare you. And the story could have been about them being friends, but the story, like, it was part of the story, but not the ultimate motivation for the story.
No,
they made it a major part of the story, but then protecting the city and the guy running for the mayor became the main focus.
Who I already hate. So
and then they kind of just do away with the.
So there's just a lot of mistakes they made here that to me didn't make it hit home as much. They should have if you wanted to play in a comedy, go full into the comedy aspect of it.
Right.
This could have been Shazam comedy wise. Right. Just that's it. This is your world. This is the universe you're creating. That's what you should have stuck to. I didn't like when it got serious. I didn't take it seriously. That's what I'm trying to say.
When did it get serious?
Thank you. And then the villain is like a villain off of The Mask.
Oh, that's what it is. That's it. Yes.
What is this fake shoulder pad thing that looks like he just put on a jacket with shoulder pads on it?
Yeah.
He doesn't look huge. It just looks weird.
And I already hate
the vibe.
And they got a budget. They got a budget for this. Like,
you
could have done.
It felt like Dick Tracy. Like it felt like an old-fashioned Dick Tracy or like the Mask villain. You're right. Like
what was Mantis doing in this movie?
Who was who?
Mantis. What was she doing in this movie?
All right.
Oh yeah.
You got Disney money. Why are you doing this?
Honestly, I don't know. There was no charisma to that villain at all.
No, that villain just seems like I know they explain it at the beginning, like only psychopaths ended up with powers, but it's just like
I don't believe her.
Okay,
but I guess.
Yeah, she doesn't even seem like a psychopath. She just seems like someone who just runs around and like, I'm evil. Boom, 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 boom.
And there's
Like,
nothing funny. There's no shtick. There's nothing sticky about that character. And then you have Jason Bateman, far left field villain with crab arms. What is the point of that?
Probably the best part of the movie, sadly.
But it didn't fit in this world for me.
Yeah. Nope. He was the funniest part of the movie, especially their romantic situation. And like, but then you think about it and you're just like, see, okay, so what Toby said earlier about stick to the comedy, if they'd made Jason Bateman's character like the main guy, not the main villain, but one of the main villains, and focused on their relationship with her being a hero, him being a villain, and him second guessing his villainy, and made it more comedic with the silliness. Like, did you guys notice every time Jason Bateman moved out of a scene when he was in danger, he walked like a crab sideways?
Yes.
Yeah, stuff like that was perfect.
Brilliant.
Yeah, but that's probably him.
But then someone told him, be Michael Bluth. And that's all I could see in this character. It just didn't fit. Just didn't fit.
I can't believe we all watched this movie. I thought I was the only sucker.
Well, I mean, listen. Again, there's not that much.
But also,
yeah,
as like comic book heads and superhero fans,
if
you're gonna put out a superhero movie, I'm gonna watch it to understand
exactly
what is this take and what is this world you're trying to build. And that's why we're so critical of it, because I laughed. I liked the movie.
Same.
It's not a good movie though.
Yeah, I agree.
I wouldn't recommend it to people.
It's always in I want to go back and see how many movies I put in the fun watch category. Usually those are movies that, like, just put it on the background. It's fine if you have nothing to do. That's where this falls in for me. It's not bad. It's just not as good as I think it could have been.
No,
I was just having a conversation with my buddy about I like movies that are fun versus movies that are good. We just had the conversation.
There is a difference, right?
Yeah, because
there is.
What movie was it? John Wick. Yeah, John Wick is good. Nobody was good. Oh yeah,
Nobody was brilliant. Oh
Nobody
my gosh.
Nobody.
Wow.
Oh, Hitman's 6 Underground with Ryan.
Oh god, that's so gross.
Not a good movie, but a fun movie.
Yeah, I hated that movie.
But just for the action shots,
it was a fun watch. Yes,
fun watch. Yeah. But I have no interest in watching it again.
Yeah.
There's absolutely.
Whoa! Someone said nobody was ass. What?
Peggy.
Hold on. Okay. Wait. First of all, let me address this comment. You want to say it's a fake John Wick? It's written by the same guy who made John Wick, first of all. So if it's as real and as close to John Wick as you're going to get from any other character.
I get what they're saying about the fakeness, because okay, so are we going to talk about nobody?
Yes, let's talk about it. It's not a fake John Wick because, hey, there's the only thing that's motivating here is the fact that he is deep down someone who likes action, and he was deprived of it for years.
Yes.
John Wick had no reason.
Yes,
to go on the tear he did.
The thing,
I mean, the dog. Yes.
Yeah, I think the reason people are saying that it feels like a John Wick movie is it's the idea that they were out and they get pulled back in, and whether or not John wanted to and didn't want to, and nobody wanted to or didn't want to, they both were out. They both get pulled back in. They both go very hard for people who get pulled back in. You didn't have to go as hard as you went. And when you get pulled back in and you start acting like a crazy maniac, and then to get to the point where I'm burning down the house, I'm taking the gold bricks like I had last time.
Yeah, those are all nods. We gotta overlook. But hold on. I'm gonna go back on some points.
Wait. Let me just finish this though. The ending, the thing that makes nobody good is the fact that at the end, nobody addresses the fact that nobody actually has a family. He actually has a support system. And the reason he does this is because he can, because people are watching his back.
Yes.
John Wick doesn't have that, and ultimately keeps finding out he's alone in this world. And the only reason the dog was the crux is because the dog represented the fact that he had nothing else.
Great. Yeah. Fantastic. I love all those points. But it is not the same out but got pulled back in. You want to know why? Because a lot of those people who were out and got pulled back in didn't want back in.
No, again, like
he has been looking for an excuse.
I know
to be back in.
I'm just saying it's not about whether or not he wanted to,
but it has to matter. It has to matter because it makes the stakes that much difference. Because you're like, this guy doesn't have to do this. He has everything.
I agree. I agree.
It made me buy into. I'm like, oh my god, is he gonna come out of this alive? I actually didn't care if he died or lived at the end. I didn't care for sequels, none of that. I'm like, if someone wants to go out and die on his shield, matter of fact, I was hoping Grandpa would die too. Because Grandpa seems like he was dying slowly in the old age home and probably wanted to go out like in a blaze of glory. You know, I thought that was going to happen. It didn't happen.
Yeah.
Certain things I would have changed, but I like this better than John Wick, guys. I'm sorry. I didn't. John Wick is great. John Wick. Hold on. Let me finish.
I've only seen
John Wick is an amazing movie.
Yes.
I've seen John Wick 1 and 2. 1 to me, I prefer better than 2. I've seen some of 3. It's a little much.
Yeah.
This movie feels more grounded to me than John Wick. And I'm a big fan of like things that feel more real. And the stakes were more real. The reasons were more real. The PTSD, the everything he's gone through to me proves and makes me understand this guy's motivation to do, even though it makes no sense.
So I'll say this: the Peggy wrote. To be honest, I preferred nobody to John Wick.
Please stop putting these comments up. I don't like this.
All around. I mean, I'm not going to ignore. I'm not going to ignore comments because the comment is fair. At the the acting in this. I mean, I think Bob Odenkirk did an excellent job.
Killed it.
I think he did a great job. I think Christopher Lloyd did an excellent job as the dad.
His wife did a great job too.
The wife, she did an excellent job. Even the neighbor,
son, whatever.
Yeah, the son was stupid. You don't even need the son. The whole point of making it that the dad didn't react when the son got the jump on one of them is so stupid. It bothered me so much because it's just like you realize he's not going to risk your life. Like but
it adds to it, right? It adds to him going like, and you know what? It was fine. But then the son ragging on the dad the next day about being a pussy. And then him hearing it from the stepbrother, not the stepbrother, but the brother-in-law, that he's a pussy. And everyone, even his wife, is looking at him sideways like, man.
You see, at the end of the movie, you know why the wife's looking at him sideways. Because she knows if you unleash the beast, you can't put it back in.
Yes.
She knew him not doing it was for the right reasons. Mm-hmm. I don't know about their marital situation because you get nods that things are weird between them. He literally says we haven't done anything in the long time.
But even it's the pillow. The pillow in the middle in between. I didn't get a lot. I didn't understand a lot of that dynamic. Like what happened there.
So that's for me is one of the problems with the film. Great film, great story. But
you can answer that question in a sequel.
No, you can't introduce that. How are you going to do a movie the whole way through where the husband and wife have a pillow between them in bed and never address it in the movie? It doesn't make sense. I know that it's an action flick and you want to show him just fighting people and potentially half losing the fight because he's not.
Oh my god.
He won the fight on the bus from pure luck.
Mm-hmm.
Like things fell into places where he could get them, and
that's why I liked it because it seemed like someone who didn't really care about himself that much. But he veiled it under this whole like thing of doing the right thing of saving the girl.
Yeah.
When the whole time in his head he's praying, that they come on the bus and cause a disruption.
Yeah,
man. I don't know. I thought the acting was phenomenal. I don't know what they're talking about there.
Bob Odenkirk. I think but I don't think Bob did a bad job at all. I think Bob did an excellent job, especially for a guy that used to be in the writers' room at SNL. Like that's Bob Odenkirk used to write in the.
They call our boy an incel over here.
Oh shit! Yeah. I mean, yeah. Maybe.
And then to go from being the guy who writes like funny sketches in the 90s for Will Ferrell and Dana Carvey,
right?
To being the guy doing an action movie, beating people's asses, tossing through windows. Like it's great. It was fun. It was fun. I liked it. I thought Nobody was a great movie. I don't think it's better than John Wick.
I do.
I understand what you mean about being grounded, though. I respect that. Yeah.
You know what? I'm not gonna say better than John Wick because I know there are a ton of people who are just gonna they're gonna be mad at that statement.
If you're proud
I think for me, based on what I like to watch, it's a better watch than John Wick for me.
Okay.
John Wick has better action scenes.
Yes.
This to me just felt more real than John Wick. I just like that realism a little bit in these kinds of, like, we're always in this fantasy worlds where anyone could be anything, but I just wanted to feel like there's some kind of human stake in it sometimes.
Yeah.
And this gave that to me.
Yeah.
Fun
movie. So we gotta get to it. You guys know the deal. We've been skirting it long enough.
Skirt.
Geek news and rumors. We got about 5 minutes for this geek news and rumors, so we're gonna give it to you quick. California tax break. California is pulling away all the projects from all over. They are giving an insane tax break to a whole bunch of film projects and TV shows and all that stuff. The Flight Attendant and Chad were two series that got huge breaks recently that are getting pulled over to leave where they're producing their shows now and to start producing them in California. We've and even what was it when we talked about this the other day, Toby? You said 5 shows from BC, British Columbia, have already been moved to California.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, it's gonna influence how shows look and how shows are done for a bit. And I don't know how long the tax break. I don't know how long they can do that.
They've been slowly increasing it and making that move since 2015, and since 2015, a total of 23 different shows have relocated.
I don't even understand how you do that. Like, you give them these tax breaks, but yes, I think one of the reasons that people like it so much is because it creates so many jobs in California.
Yeah,
having those tax breaks balances out in the sense that, imagine for 23 projects over the last 6 years, right? Yeah. And you have to hire hundreds of people on all of these projects. So people are getting jobs. I think that's great. It's just like I was saying to you guys the other day, how much of a deal do you have to get that you would leave British Columbia where you're paying people 70 to 75 cents on the dollar?
So just to put it into perspective, Chad, the show you mentioned, is on track to generate let me see here, about almost 30 mil in qualified spending, and they're probably eligible to get back about 14.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
So, right?
Yeah. And I know for some of you who are listening to this, you're probably just like, what does that even mean? Essentially, they're giving them like huge amounts of money to just make sure that people get jobs in the state. And I get it. But again, if you're doing that, how big is the deal that you're getting so that you're leaving somewhere like British Columbia where you were paying people? Because the Canadians who are living there, if you sign someone for a contract that pays them 50 to 60K Canadian, that's costing
not the same.
Yeah, that's costing you what, 50K US?
If anything.
So I don't know. Seems crazy to me, but whatever. Indie comic publisher racing to become the next Marvel. There's been a lot of talk recently about all these indie labels trying to release, and this is what I was talking about when I was saying the bubbles popping. I don't know how that's going to look. You have Boom Studios who have great titles and stuff like that, but when people start writing stuff specifically to be shows, like Reeves, speaking of John Wick, Keanu Reeves' Berserker is written in the sense of like, we are planning to sell this as a show.
It's pretty much like a screenplay.
Yeah.
A lot of these are just screenplays now with what are those boxes called?
Storyboarding.
It's just live storyboarding pretty much.
We are getting the storyboard concepts, the concept of the movie as a storyboard with the bubbles sold to us. We are buying the storyboards, and then they're going to just make these shows and movies.
Those might be the ones that fail, because I think the ones that actually are successful are the ones that actually have a rich story behind them and history that people actually can go back, a lore that you can go back into and like kind of catch up on, right? Bloodshot wasn't done properly, so let's not talk about that. But Image has a bunch of stuff coming out, so does Dark Horse. I'm excited for those, but yes, you're right. There is a bubble. We're gonna see more shows and movies like ThunderForce and Jupiter's Legacy that are coming out. And I hope that doesn't create a sort of fatigue, but I don't think those will affect Marvel.
No. Ultimately, Marvel is a cut above, so they'll be fine no matter what. We mentioned it already, but Amelia, I keep saying Emily, apologies. Emilia Clarke joins Marvel's Secret Invasions for Disney Plus. Also, Olivia Colman has joined the cast of that show. I mean, that looks crazy. I mean, I'm excited for that show. I like Sam Jackson, so you had me at Sam Jackson. Sam Jackson and the Skrulls. Wow.
True.
Ben Mendelsohn's gonna be on there too. It'll be a good show. It'll be a good show.
Netflix, 17 billion spend on content in 2021. Netflix is burning more money. Their subscriptions are down. Did you guys see Q1? Their subscriptions they didn't meet their projections.
Yeah.
And they announced that right after they said they're going to spend $17 billion. What the?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? I don't understand.
I think when were these projections initially put out? Because was it put out before all these other streaming services were announced and cannibalizing some of their followership? Or
for Q1 of this year, I can't imagine they projected that far ahead. Like Q1 for 2021, I don't think you project from 2019. Actually, that's not true. Disney does projections for that far in advance. I don't know, man. It just seems crazy though. Once the pandemic hit, you had to readjust your and I know they were doing well with the subscriptions at the beginning of the pandemic, but like I unsubscribed from Netflix. I know a bunch of people that have unsubscribed from Netflix.
You know what's funny is at the beginning of the pandemic, it worked to their advantage. But like I said, with all these other streaming services coming out around the same time, now people have more options for things. They're like, well, I don't need Netflix. Yeah. But if there was no pandemic, you would still, I don't know.
Yeah. And I gotta say, and Toby, I think you're in some of these blurred groups too. A lot of the blurred groups are saying HBO Max is kind of the cut above right now.
Yeah, so
like I'm seeing a lot of people say HBO Max is like the big one to beat. So
HBO has just been hard to beat for a lot of networks and streaming.
Love and Death.
Like if DC could get their act together, they have a huge...
I know, dude. Every time I think about the fact that DC has a straight line to one of the most popular streaming services and isn't taking advantage of it and keeps putting out shows on the CW, I'm like, what are you doing?
They will never.
I don't get it.
They will never.
Guess we'll never know why. We're probably gonna die not knowing why. Love, Death, and Robots Season 2. If you guys saw Season 1, they did some really amazing shorts. Those are like some really cool short stories, short films each episode. And I think they're Black Mirror-esque.
Yes.
Just more animated and CGI and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Treated. So, and they're pretty good. They're really good.
So they announced that Season 2 is coming and the trailer's out, so you guys can definitely go check that. If anything, we're gonna probably retweet a lot of the stuff, tweet all the trailers that we talked about. I'll do that make sure to follow us on @Geektastic Cypher because we'll make sure to post that up for you guys. What else do we have?
Mortal Kombat opening scene was released today. Was it today? Today I saw it. Huh? On the 23rd.
Yeah, Friday.
Friday. And man,
is it good?
It makes me want to watch it because it starts out, if it is the opening scene, it starts out with the origin of like Sub-Zero versus Scorpion. You kind of see like their first sort of like, I think Sub-Zero has been going on and wiping out anyone related to Scorpion.
Oh shit!
His whole dynasty and stuff. So Sub-Zero is the villain here, 100%.
Oh, okay.
And he comes and checks. He comes from China, wherever he is, to check Scorpion in Japan and his family. And it's not a spoiler, but he kills Scorpion's family.
Yeah.
His son and the wife. And then the trailer ends with them sort of like finding each other after that whole thing because Scorpion was away doing something in the fields and it wasn't there to save his family.
Oh, okay.
But it looks incredible, and I can't wait to see what the fight scenes, because we don't really get to see the fight scenes.
Yeah.
But we get to understand like what it's potentially going to be. So I like that a lot. I'm even more hyped now to see it.
Wow, I'm looking forward to it. How I Met Your Father with Hilary Duff.
Years later.
Well, they were supposed to do a How I Met Your Dad.
The pilot is out. I found it and I can send it to you guys.
With
the pilot is, it's horrible. It's really it's a bad pilot. I see why CBS was just like, no, we don't want this.
We don't want that.
It's the same writers still for this one too, right? So interesting, they took all this time to come back and rewrite it and repitch it.
Supposedly, these guys haven't worked on anything else.
They've been trying to get the right spinoff for the past 10
years. People have been saying. I don't know if it's true. I didn't actually check if they worked on anything, but everyone was joking like, yo, are you telling me these guys worked on How I Met Your Mother, didn't do anything else, and waited like 6 years to do How I Met Your Father?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And then they got Hilary Duff on it. So you'll get some viewers, and if it's good, they'll stay. If not, they'll leave.
Yeah.
Exactly. So and you know, Greta Gerwig, who did the original pilot, went on to become this like fantastic director who worked on Lady Bird, Little Women and Lady Bird, I think are the two that she did that people are like were blown away by. So congrats to her.
Go on.
People are saying she dodged a bullet. Like someone posted the Neo dodging bullets and being like Greta Gerwig right now when she hears Hilary Duff got the show. And I was like,
she's not this is not related to Ted Mosby?
Not at all. No.
Wow. That's a Hail Mary.
They call things a spinoff sometimes, and it's just an offshoot.
Yeah,
it's called an offshoot.
It's the same. You know what? Funny enough, this would be called a remake right now. Like, you know, like if you did How I Met Your Mother and did 20 years later How I Met Your Father, they'd be like, oh, they're doing a remake and they're flipping it. But because it's so close to, they're just saying it's a spinoff, even though it's not a spinoff. It's not connected in any way. The only thing is they're both in New York. And the end of the pilot, you find out who the father is. It's not a secret. They show you who the father is, and it's the story of how she met this guy. Like, that was the original trailer. Like, it wasn't a hidden thing. So you know who this guy is. You meet him in the pilot. Yeah. I think that's one of the reasons they didn't get the show, because I watched the show, I watched the pilot, and I was just like, and when it ended and they showed who the father was, I was just like, that's who the father is? I'm like, well, I have no reason to watch the show now. Literally.
What's the point? Isn't the whole anyway. That is terrible.
So
horrible.
Anyways. If you guys are watching this, the trailer for Mortal Kombat has been added into the chat. If you guys are listening to this, we're going to be posting all these trailers on Twitter for you guys to check out. So we'll I'll even put the link to the How I Met Your Dad pilot episode. You guys can watch that. Someone posted it on YouTube, divided into 6 parts. It's bad. If you want to watch it. I watch it at 1.5 speed, so it goes nice and fast. If you guys are looking for a way to speed through just to see what it was about. One last quick thing that I wanted to mention that is kind of crazy, and I'm super excited, and I might actually pay for it. Luminary is going to be releasing a podcast that was done by Dave Chappelle, Talib Kweli, and Yasin Bey. That's going to be coming out soon. They announced it. It's called The Midnight Miracle. And if you guys are podcast fans, if you listen to our show and you like us just, blurs geeking out, you can only imagine what it's going to be like with Yasin Bey, Talib Kweli, and Dave Chappelle, because that's going to be...
Dave Chappelle is doing his own podcast.
Yeah, it's on Luminary. Luminary is like this paid podcast service. So, Dave's being smart. Y'all ain't getting it for free. They recorded...
I wonder, him and Joe Rogan are like best friends. I wonder if this is like, I'm not going to compete with you, Joe. I'm going to go on another platform. Do my thing.
I'm waiting until the first episode drops, because Luminary has a this is not an ad. I'm just really excited that this is coming. But there's a free trial.
They've edited more than 100 hours of content.
Yeah. So supposedly a whole bunch of the people, like, you guys know how they had that whole thing last summer where he had people out at the ranch. Shout out to Narcy, who was there from Montreal. But supposedly a whole bunch of them, they just recorded stuff. Like, they just kept recording different conversations and whatnot throughout the whole year. So some of the stuff we saw, some of the stuff we saw in his specials and whatnot is probably him discussing and working out concepts and ideas.
Man,
so,
I know Joe Rogan has something to do with this. Everyone he talks to, he tells him to do a podcast.
Oh yes,
and I guarantee he's been saying it today for years.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, it's
all right. Here's a
cool.
quote from Dave Chappelle. I'm actually pumped now. Thanks for ending on this. The midnight miracle gives you a look into how me and my friends process the world around us. Yeah. Making a podcast isn't the most obvious next move for me, but it's the right one, and it will change the way listeners think of what a podcast can be.
Yeah.
What? Those are big words, Dave.
I know. Yeah, easy. You just got here.
Shit. But I'm excited. Dope.
Shout outs to him. I look forward to this. So if you guys are listening to this, you guys are probably totally down with that same culture that we are. We love that stuff. You know, and Yasin Bey, hip hop, Talib Kweli, hip hop, Dave, comedy, Yasin, an actor. Like there's gonna be elements of and how these guys interact, how these guys understand the world. How, it's gonna be really, really interesting. So go check it out, guys. When it comes out, I will definitely put you guys onto it. And if anything, follow them on Instagram because they're gonna be updating people on there. So if you go on Instagram and just look up Midnight Miracle, you'll find it. Or follow Chappelle, and he already posted a link to it. Guys, that's the whole show. We got to bounce. This was supposed to be 90. 100 and some minutes of us being geeks and enjoying our lives. So we'll be back next week. We have another episode, as we always do. We want to remind you guys, it is that time of year for the best of Montreal. If you guys can take a moment, if you haven't voted, to go vote. Again, you got to fill out 25 categories minimum for it to count. One entry per IP address. Category 23, Geektastic Cypher for best podcast. We want to thank you guys for tuning in. And that's it, boys. We out. Peace out.
Deuces. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Peace.